So welcome to the session today. We'll just give delegates a moment to spool into the session so that we can start with everybody present. So welcome to those of you who are first through the door. We're just waiting for everybody else, and we'll start the session proper in a moment. Welcome to delegates who've just arrived. I can see people are still joining. We haven't quite got everybody in, so we'll give everyone another minute. But you have joined the ETOA Data Appeal webinar, so we welcome you for that session starting very shortly. I can see a couple more people still joining, so I think we will start very soon. Welcome again to those who have just joined. There we go. I think we'll begin. Hello, welcome to this ETOA webinar with our partners at Data Appeal. I'm delighted to be joined by Hannah Babineau of Data Appeal and by Carlotta Ferrari of the Welcome Florence Convention Bureau. So welcome to both of you. Some of you may have also been expecting Mirko Lally of Data Appeal. So are we. We're hoping he'll be able to join us shortly. He had a delay on a flight and he is running around finding a place to sit as we speak. So we very much hope that he will join in the session a little later on. I'll hand over to Hannah and Carlotta in just a moment. Hannah handles our partnership between ourselves, and she's very much familiar with ourselves and our delegates. So we have a most excellent substitute, and we look forward to hearing from you too, Hannah, in a minute. So just before we do, understanding the facets and measuring sustainability and producing some kind of accountability is a well-known challenge in our industry. And today we're going to be discussing many of those, thinking about some of the things outside of the more traditional KPIs and looking at things like accessibility, inclusivity, economic resilience, and all of the things that go into the pot that we call sustainability. I will, as I say, hand over to Hannah and Carlotta in a moment. Before I do, please do feel free to ask questions. Use the Q&A facility. Just type in your questions as we go, and we'll do our best to cover some of those. We will be recording the session, so we'll send that out to you afterwards, along with a link to the presentations. And so with that, I will hand over to you, Hannah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rachel, and good afternoon, good morning, everyone, depending where in the world you're based. I'm really excited to talk about sustainability. It's one of those things that means a lot of different things to different people. And I'll say by no means Carlotta and I have the perfect answer to sustainability, but we'll kind of share various ways that we're integrating different initiatives across a whole wide range. But kind of before I get started, I wanted to kind of go back in history a little bit, and I was curious to understand kind of when sustainability was first mentioned, when people first started talking about it. The first mention of the word sustainability was in 1972 at the UN Conference for the Human Environment. I just see Mirko has joined, so perfect segue, talking about the past and looking into the future. Mirko, I can hand it to you.
Yes, just before you do, Mirko, a really warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for making an effort to leap off your plane and come straight to the webinar. We really appreciate you making the effort in Florence.
Thank you, Rachel. It's really not, so much convenient today. Just to show you, I'm in Florence airport, just landed with 2 hours delay. So it's, it's a bit hard to make in this condition, but I will try. So I saw that Hannah, it's already sharing the presentation, right?
Yep, I can click through it if you feel free.
I prefer to share my screen if possible, so I have the stay there for the backup because I'm connected with my cell phone. So let me share my screen.
Perfect.
Okay, okay. I get from where Anna is live. I cannot see you all. So it's everybody want to interrupt me, Rachel, Hannah, or Carlotta, please just do it by voice, because sharing the screen in this very strange situation, I have not full access to the camera. So of course, it's a lot of years that we are talking about sustainability. In the last webinar, while we were talking about technology, about AI, we saw like there is a huge difference between, since somebody get aware, know a certain technology at the moment, or a certain topic like sustainability today, and since they became aware, since they start adopting the technology or adopting sustainable and responsible behavior. The travel industry indeed is in the, seems to be in the right path. Not exactly in the whole, every destination in the world, not all the travelers in the world. Like any innovation, any advance in the market, there are always some spots that are a little behind. But we are always talking about, and every day more talking about sustainable food, sustainable usage of water, eco-friendly something. I will talk later about the new European directive about greenwashing, because it is putting something eco before before everything we're talking about. I don't think is suitable anymore in the future. And the travel industry is talking about sustainability a lot. For example, why we are talking about flights, aviation, even because aviation will be probably forced to compensate the impact, the impact on the environment, and also because the aviation industry it's experimenting a lot with sustainable fuel. And there is a lot of concern as well. This is a little behind, in my opinion, in the hotel industry, in the hospitality industry. Just imagine of course, the hospitality industry, it's not sustainable at all. And every action that we can face, it's a reduction of the impact in terms of water, in terms of CO2, in terms of also contributing of crowding of the destination as well. And the technology industry is making some steps for helping travelers and helping industry to be more aware. As you ever know, for example, it's a while then when you search for a flight on Google Flights, you can order by the impact in terms of CO2, and you can also filter by the impact. And this is a huge step for the industry, because it's allow you to be aware, of course. And Google in some market propose you also some alternatives by train, radically, that you can choose instead of flying. The aviation industry, it's under a huge rethinking of itself in overall in Europe. Do you remember we talked about that also in another occasion? Amsterdam airport that could off the 15% of their flights, short-term flights, and in parallel, the government empowered the rail transportation, the train transportation. But this is what the industry is doing. But what is important, like any other experience, any other reasoning about the travel, is how the travelers are changing their behavior, and they are. So sustainability is becoming really a part of a value proposition, for example, of a destination, of an hotel, or an experience, because I mean, if there are a changing on the travelers' behavior, so there may be an hope in the adopting of the industry. I am really skeptical on the other way down. So it's really hard to impose behavior, and especially behavior that may be expensive or may impact on the experience from the top down. But I mean, if you look at the data, very well known data, because, for example, there are some research made by the OTA or some part of the of other, I mean, independent third-party researcher, and it seems that all the generation, of course, the younger generation, the ZG, are more sensible and more in line with this new, I mean, new vision about be more aware while you travel. You are seeing the number on the screen, so I cannot. Sorry.
Just a question, sorry to interrupt. What people are wondering if you could share your full screen, because they want to see all the text that you've got on your slides, and it's a little small. And just wondering if
I'm sharing the. Oh,
you are sharing the one with the preview.
You're right. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt. Do carry on.
You make right. Sorry. It's, I mean, you know the situation. And I think now you can see the number, and more than half than Gen Z that are interviewed for that, and the millennial as well, are declaring that they are interested in searching and experiencing a more sustainable trip while they travel. That decrease a little while you are with the increase of the age. That's, I mean, I think it's normal. But the very young people, 77%, 18 to 21 to 29, let's say, sustainability impacting their travel decision today. So they are already changing their behavior, especially in some countries. I think it's very relevant to understand also which countries. So, for example, everybody knows that there is a huge difference for the north of Europe, for example, if you compare to the rest, to the south of Europe. But still, this is the actual situation, and in my opinion, it could be also increased in the future. And it just I mean, an important start for also for the operators for the destination to be aware of this changing of behavior, and what we can do. So what we can do, for example, to avoid one of the most shameful behavior, I think, you know, also the European Union released a new directive for spotlighting and avoiding greenwashing for all industries, especially in travel. And what does it mean? For example, it's not more allowed to use the word green, the word eco, or any other word without any formal third-party certification that demonstrate and basically, I mean, can be an assurance that you have the rights for using that word. I have a doubt, for example, that also the decision of Booking.com that, you know, drops travel sustainable program, the badges, the green leaves badges that they are using for a couple of years. They decided to, to drop it off, and you can only be use the sustainable word on Booking.com if you demonstrate to Booking as well that you are there is a third-party certification. So there are a ton of certifications that you can use. So what we do, and what is our approach, very quickly, because I want also to give time to Carlotta. And I don't know, Carlotta, in the beginning you already presented yourself. Otherwise, I leave you. Some time later.
Go ahead. Go.
Okay. So what we do, what we thought just after the pandemic, we thought to try to find a way for overcoming the classical way of measuring sustainability, that basically is a sort of a form that everybody fills up, I mean, independently, subjectively, and in some cases with the guts and with not clear data. It's basically impossible, the classical way for measuring sustainability or assessing sustainability, to compare two destinations together. So we set up our own methodology, crossing together hundreds of different data sources. And what we want to measure is a new way, completely automatic, valid worldwide, to assess destination sustainability through, I think my slides, no, they are working, okay. Assessing a destination sustainability through 4 different pillars, measuring the social cultural impact of the tourism, the destination management under a qualitative point of view, the destination management pillar. We are trying to measuring with very good results what now is calling, we call over tourism. We are not, I mean, I'm not, I don't think it's the right name. I don't like the over tourism word, as, I mean, who know me know that I don't like the over tourism word, but right now it's the best word that we have found for, I mean, highlighting a phenomenon very present in the industry, and everybody's understand that. And of course, last but not least, the environmental impact of tourism. There are a lot of destinations that are struggling with sustainability, and that they are trying to put in place some action to be more sustainable under several dimensions. We have some use cases, and you can find the use cases. So you can go through the use cases at the end of the presentation. We give you the slides, of course, with all the details. So I don't want to go through all the little numbers during my presentation. But for example, we have tried, when it's possible, for example, like in Finland, to measure the effort of sustainability. And Visit Finland has developed a sustainable travel program for tourism company, and the effect in the numbers are visible since the beginning. We try to put in consideration also Bhutan. They want to balance economy and environment through tourism, so they want to use tourism as a normalization factor for the destination as well. And it's very interesting that the effect that they are experimenting, and that the government say that the cap will be enforced to the quota, with each tourist paying a daily fee. So it's the same solution that the aviation industry is trying to put in place, for example, with the compensation. This is pretty curious because we have a benchmark between and before the implementation of the program, and the data demonstrate that the program started working. So even in a very short time, of course, talking about sustainability and the impact on the destination, especially under the environmental profile, the times could be long, so it could be not immediate, the impact in the destination as well. And after the implementation of the Copenhagen program about the destination, it's a sort of community-based program where they want to involve the residents to improve the experience of the tourists. Not magic. I want to say magically, but it's not magic. Is that everything started to be better for everybody, for both parties. Venice, you know, it's very famous, the case of Venice that introduced the deity for visitors. there are some group, especially local group, that are not happy with that. I think it's an interesting experiment, and seems working, even because they seems working for both parties, because they declare that they have reached the amount that they was expecting in the full experimentation, so 7 months, just in 1 month, in the first month. So it's an interesting experimentation, but they don't stop tourist flow. So it's for both parties, we have to understand that with this type of experimentation, for example, to have a entry ticket for a destination could be a solution for the destination as well. In the Cinque Terre, another very famous destination, a lot of overcrowded. It's a pretty overcrowded destination. They try to put the same approach, not with a ticket, but increasing the train ticket during the high season for 4 times roughly, because the train tickets, even for each stop in the Cinque Terre, pass for 2.5 euro for whole year round to 10 euro during the high season. I don't know is the right approach. Of course, only for tourists and excursionists, not for residents and people to stay longer in the destination, like people that go there for work and so on. You already know the very famous cases of Amsterdam, with a famous campaign to young British, and they say to stay away. I do not show the video again. It's interesting because Amsterdam has already, it's very fresh, has launched a new initiative a couple of days ago. I jumped into this news. They have just launched a new form. Is a sort of quiz that you have to fill it up just to enter in Amsterdam. So why do you want to visit Amsterdam? And you follow the step, and when you follow the step, you receive also some, you see the video? Yeah, yes. So that's going to be an assault. It's forbidden to organize a stag party. How many people are planning to visit Amsterdam? You enter, so seems normal question. What type of accommodation do you plan it? Whatever, you choose your accommodation. Sleeping in your car is prohibited, and you can lead to expensive fine and parking costs. So it seems to be a more an initiative that wants to educate the tourists. Sorry to disappoint you, but guided tours are no longer allowed in Amsterdam, and so on, and so on. So it seems that when you choose a not viable option, they want to educate you and basically, I mean, in a more polite way, say the same message of the video: stay away. So we thought to invite Carlotta to this webinar, because Carlotta is the manager of the new TMO of Florence. So it's not new; it's from Florence Convention Bureau. They transform in a foundation. And Carlotta is the director. Carlotta, if you want to present yourself and also present your company, your foundation, that it's pretty new. It's last week news.
Yes. Thank you, Mirko. Good afternoon. My name is Carlotta, and as Mirko said, I am the general manager of the foundation Destination Florence. It's a brand new project that we have started a couple of weeks ago, but it's just the transformation of the Destination Florence Convention and Visitors Bureau, it was a private consortium, and now we are a private public foundation. So it's a new challenge, and I'm happy to be here today because, of course, from today, we will start to work with the municipality of Florence on governance of these flows and many other things that we are going to comment right now. And I don't like over-tourism, as well as Mirko said, but waiting for a new word, we have to talk about that. So what I will tell you today is we will talk about sustainability in terms of balance between residents and citizens and tourists, and sustainability in terms of capacity of the city to have all these people around. I'm gonna share my slides as well. Let me see, and it's okay. And okay, I start.
Carlotta, may a question before you start with the slide. You talked about over-tourism as a word we know. We know each other since a long time, so we know there is another term that we like. Where do you think it started? So it's something that could be resolved at destination level. It's just a part of the conjunction of the industry. So it's because there are vacation rentals, there are hotels, there are, or is something that starts because of tourists. So what is the main actor in overcrowding a destination, in your opinion?
So I switch immediately to my fourth or fifth slide. As you can see, governance, a big issue.
No. If you have the press, if you have your
no, but
if you have
I
already
agree.
addressed the topic, so go ahead with your
No. Fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Of course, over tourism, it's not something born yesterday, but we have started to have it in Florence many years ago. But, you know, at the beginning, everybody was so happy to have all these people around. And then when we have started to realize that it was a big problem for the destination, COVID arrived. And after COVID, of course, I know I always say everything quite simple, you know, but after COVID, nobody cares about over-tourism for many months, especially the operators, private operators, because, you know, we had to start to work again and to have our companies working again. And now, again, we are starting to talk about over-tourism and how we can manage it. But the problem is bigger than a problem that can be managed by a DMO. And in Italy, we have several problems about that. Now we will see. And the over-tourism is a phenomenon that has to be managed by a team of people composed by the destination manager and the municipality and the region and the state. And we have to consider not only from a destination manager point of view, but we need a more holistic point of view. We need the urban strategy. We need economic strategies. We need to put together many people, but this is quite a problem because in Italy we have a governance problem, as it's not quite clear who has to do what, because the image of a destination is related to the mayor. But in Italy, the mayor has no power to manage this kind of phenomenon. And so this gap, of course, is, in my vision, the biggest problem, especially in a destination with these numbers. In 2023, we had, again, about 13 million presence in Florence, in the metropolitan cities of Florence. And we had 9 million in the city of Florence. But the 76% of this number is in UNESCO heritage. So we can say that the 95% of visitors are in the 5% of our territory. And this is the starting point, okay? And when we talk about these dates, we have to consider also that we are considering only hotels and bed and breakfast and not Airbnb. So apartments are not in these numbers. So we are talking about big numbers in a very, very small territory. And we have also this kind of misperception sometimes of Florence, because, you know, we politicians used to benchmark Florence with Paris, with London, with Berlin, because we have a very strong brand. But our dimension are really, really, really small. We are like maybe I don't know, a little portion of London or a little portion of Paris. So also this business perception of our brand and of our destination is not so so useful. So as I said, first of all, we have a little problem of governance.
It's a very cool slide.
Yes, it's nice.
Very good.
So not in all Italian destination we have DMOs, and this is the first problem. But anyway, we have DMOs normally related to the municipality. We have the region. In Italy, the regions have full competence in terms of tourism. And then we have our Italian Tourist Board. These three levels are not so connected one to the other. So very often cities are left by themselves in solving this kind of problem, but they have not enough instruments. So this is the first problem I have to underline. The second one is, as I said before, the approach, because the destination manager in Italy is not so such a popular figure. We are not so popular, first of all. But when we talk about destination management and tourism flows management, as I said, we talk about engineering and urban planning, investment and cultural changes. So we need a totally different approach. Now we have elections in Florence in a couple of weeks. So we have many plans for the new mayor, because we hope to sit down around a table with all these people that have competencies around tourism. So what I can tell you today is what the city tried to do with the instruments that the city has, and what we are trying to do from a product and promotional point of view. Hopefully, by the end of the year, I will be able to tell you what's new in town. So with the foundation, together with the new municipality, what we will do to solve this problem. First of all, I think this is quite interesting because in order to preserve and promote a better quality of life and a better fruition also of the UNESCO area, the municipality of Florence started to issue some rules and regulation, and especially starting to introduce some limitations and criteria of business and commercial activities. So as you can see, the protection and valorization of Florentine and traditional business activities. So we have mapped all the historical activities open for at least 50 years, giving them some protection in the city center in terms of taxes and in terms of also of taxes mainly. And we have also constitute a network of this kind of traditional activities in order to promote them. We have also some very interesting rules about protection and decorum of historical city center of Florence, so limitation of opening new food and beverage activities inside the UNESCO heritage, for example. And this already gave some results, because before COVID, we had 900 food and beverage activities in the UNESCO heritage, and now we have 800. So we can see already some good results. And then we had some important deliberation on retail and business activities in public areas. And this means that we have nicer markets with, also from a aesthetic point of view, we have better areas where we have markets and where stands have to sell some kind of products in the city center. And finally, everybody knows maybe what our mayors is trying to do for the regulation of short rentals. As I said before, our mayor has no power to regulate this kind of phenomenon, but he tried to do something. So now in the UNESCO heritage, it's not possible to open new Airbnb or anyway new apartment rentals. And is giving some incentive to people that would like to rent the apartment to families or long terms, like the elimination of taxes for few years. But, you know, this is not a law. Is not a law at the moment. And, you know, we still don't know if this rule, municipality rule will be effective or not. And we are also doing a lot of investment at the destination on urban requalification. So the municipality is investing millions in the restyling of areas outside the city center, like Manifattura Tabacchi is one of the places we are working on, just to try to split people all around and to enlarge our destination, because the perception is still that Florence is only our UNESCO city center. And so we are still talking about the 5 kilometers I said before. We are also partner, and this is quite a brand new project, quite important. We are partner of this network of the 5 Italian main touristic destination. Is called GDTS, Grandi Destinazioni Italiane per un Turismo Sostenibile. So it's the big Italian destination for a sustainable tourism. Is a network supported by the Minister of Tourism, and inside this network we try to share some best practice about the management of tourism flow. We are trying inside to find common solution. Of course, Venice is part of the network. For example, we have discussed a lot about the new ticket before they issue, and we are confident that also this network can produce some very good solution, and especially we are trying through this network to push the Minister of Tourism to work more and more on this kind of problem, and especially to support cities that have no instrument sometimes to manage the tourism flow. And in terms of promotion and product, we have started to talk more and more about product and less about promotion. So what we are doing now, we are concentrated in building new products outside the city center, and instead of promote the destination to the main international fairs. So how we work? We work, first of all, involving 41 municipalities all around the city, because we are trying to change the perception of the city of Florence, as I said, which is not only the city center, but is the big Florence. The city of Florence arrived until the first Chianti region, so it's quite a bigger destination than the one visitors used to visit. And so we are selecting operators, we are training operators, and we are building with them new products, quality products, in order to push people in and try to push people in visiting these places as outside the city center. And also all our promotional activities are concentrating on that. So it's about a couple of years that we select only international fairs pushing these kind of products, the bicycle, the outdoor, and alternative sites are outside the city center. And most of all, if you want to be promoted, and if you want to buy Destination Florence, and if you want to sell products through our marketplace, you have to respect some very strict quality criteria. So we select operators, and we promote and sell only operators with some very high quality criteria. And this is just some example of the type of products that we are pushing. We are quite, of course, lucky because Florence is surrounded by very nice places. We are surrounded by Tuscany, which is not secondary, of course. And this is just some example of what you can find in our website. And of course, we are working on some new transportation strategies because, of course, it's good to have products outside the city center, but you have also to have a way to go outside the city center, also because the 75% of our tourists are international, so they have no cars when they come to Florence. And so we are building products outside the city center, and at the same time, we are building the way to go. So we are, as you know, we have a brand new system of tram in the city. We are building a new also bicycle path, but especially we are working with Autolinee Toscana, which is our company, transportation company, and we are building new lines to join and to go outside the city center. And in a week, so I cannot tell many things, but just the title, we are launching a new campaign.
Please, this is
for
very
visitors,
important.
and this is a project that we are taking care directly as a foundation. So it's the first thing we will do as a foundation together, of course, with the municipality of Florence. The campaign is part of this Enjoy and Respect Florence project, which is a project launched by the GDTS, so the 5 destinations. So the umbrella is this project, Enjoy and Respect, but we are launching a new campaign on May the 30th. Yes, on May the 30th, which does not limit to impose behavioral bans on tourists. So don't do this, don't do that, but is a nudging, let's say, campaign. So we are trying to inform visitors on what choices and what behavior to adopt for a more respectful and sustainable approach in the city. So I think it's very nice campaign. This is the claim. I don't know if you can see. Yes, Florence is alive, treated with care. And is a campaign involving the whole destination because it's a campaign of the foundation, but we have involved a lot of our stakeholders from the museum system, transportation system, our public markets, all the screens that are in the city. So all together, we will launch the campaign, all the stakeholders of the city, all the companies talking to tourists. We have involved also the company working on, I don't know how to say in English, the waste, for example, and we are involving the company of water, providing water to people. So it's really a campaign involving the whole destination. We will have also international students in the street, like tutors, touristic tutors, especially American tourists, because, you know, in Florence, we have 3 million presence of international students, and they are not really loved by citizens. So we think that this campaign can be also the occasion for them to do a sort of a community service and to give back something to the destination. And of course, is a campaign that have a huge project offline, because you will see the campaign in the whole destination, from the airport to the station to all the main point of interest. And of course, we have a very interesting digital media plan, videos and everything it's needed, hopefully, to be effective. And of course, and this is one of our main goals, we work on different targets. As you know, Mirko, we are highly specialized in the MICE industry. And when we talk about MICE, we talk about quality tourism for sure, because with the 2 or 4 year in advance, you know how many people will come, from where they are coming, where they sleep, where they go. So it's really a kind of tourism you can manage. And we work also a lot of temporary citizens, especially international students. We have a dedicated project called Belong, and we are now working with them in order to, with dispersal strategies as well, because as you know, we are missing houses in the city center. So we are involving all these 41 little municipality around the city center, and we are implementing this kind of strategies in order to spread these people in a larger area. And this is just a joke to conclude my presentation, because in terms of inclusivity, we have some problems because we are 16 women in the office. So we have some gender problems because we have no men working with us. We are 16 girls, let's say. And of course, jokes apart, we are partner of AIGTL, and I'm proud member of the board of ELTA as well. And so we try to work a lot also in terms of diversity and inclusion. I think my presentation is finished.
Carlotta,
Yes.
I have a couple of questions, and
Yes.
then maybe Rachel, if you want to ask to our participant, to the follower, if they have questions for Carlotta. May I start?
Oh yes, absolutely. To say to the audience, do type anything into the Q&A, and I can read it and send it out appropriately.
Carlotta, I have a couple of questions because I'm very curious. Thank you for the preview, because I know that you launched the new campaign, that is amazing as a concept in the next days. So thank you. And Rachel is a real preview for us. The first time Carlotta is presenting publicly, so it's a great review only for us. Carlotta, you said before that the destination manager is a complex role. And because of course involve many activities if you want to make us full of the potential. And do you think it's changing? Because out of Italy, I'm seeing a lot of changes because it's more focused to the internal stakeholder, to the citizens, and to put in a new equilibrium the citizens with the tourists. Or what I'm seeing in Italy is that the destination manager, except for what I'm seeing today, is more in the promotion of a destination than is coordinating all the sound. What do you think?
I totally agree with what you are saying. We have discussed about that also at the CTGNA conference in Bologna a few weeks ago. The role of destination manager is changing a lot all over the world in a correct way, I think, because now we are not more talking about promotion. Promotion is not needed, especially for destination affected by over-tourism. And it's more, it's someone talking more at the destination with the local supplier and working with local municipality in order to also try to find a better balance between residents and tourism. In Italy, let me say that we have discovered the destination manager a couple of days ago, and so we are still at the promotion.
Not a couple of days, probably a couple of years.
Couple of years, let me say. And
to be honest,
it's strange because the best DMOs and the best destination managers starting maybe in small and not so popular destination, and the biggest still, some of the biggest are still waiting for a proper DMO, and this is something really Italian. And there's a big job to do about that, because in Italy, it's only a matter of promotion. And so what also the public administration asks to a destination manager is to promote the destination and to increase the number of visitors. And So sometimes it's difficult also for us because we have to fight internally. So we have to explain to our politician that the world is changed and that now we have totally different needs. I think they are starting to understand this because, you know, I always say that the tourists don't vote. So they really don't interest the local politician, but the resident, yes. And now residents start to be every day more, you know, uncomfortable in the destination. They want solution. And our role is also to find a new way of co-living. I will never promise to Florentine people that we will be back, because this is the city where we live. We are one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Everybody has the right to come if you stay 1 day, 2 or 3, if you are poor, rich, with culture or with no culture, you have the right to see a UNESCO heritage. So we have just to find a new way of cohabitation, and we have to be also honest with citizens, I think.
Second question, very easy. And the third one that you can choose if you want to answer or not. So the second, it's easy. You're saying that you are part of a network of the touristic destination. I'm seeing very different cities too. So Florence is probably 1/3 of Milan. Milan as well is 1/5 of Rome. So how can you, I mean, use the best experience of so much different destination? Do you think we can find a common way to operate, even if they are so profoundly different?
Of course, we have to find different solutions because also the ticket of Venice, you can do only in Venice because you have one point of access to the destination, for example. So I think that the value of this group is, yes, to share also best practice, but also our goal has to be to be stronger in front of the national institution and let them understand that we need more power, more money, and laws to protect our destination. Of course, we are totally different. We cannot adopt the same solution. We have totally different instruments. We have different DMOs. We have a totally different approach on the market. So if you put together different things, it's not easy to find a solution. I think that the power of the network is to be stronger in front of the institution. But I am the technical part, and I'm not a politician, luckily, so my best what I can do is to try to convince them to do this.
I was thinking the same. So it's the strength of the network. A very quick third question. In your experience, and you choose if you want to answer or not, who is the most resilient in the changing? Is the institution? Is the hotel? The vacation rental, the transportation, who is more difficult to change their mentality for going forward? You can also answer no comment. It's fine.
No. I have a long list of people that doesn't want to change. I think that a little bit also the various level of tourism board, first of all, has to change mentality, and they talk to politicians, so they have also the power to convince them. So we cannot talk about promotion anymore and the same promotion for all the territories. So maybe also the regional tourist board and the Italian tourist board has to have different strategies for different destinations. Okay, the promotion for some, but other stuff for others. But I think that there are a lot of people that need to change mentality. So the tourist board, the level of tourist board as well, and institutions, because they prefer to count people instead of measure the behavior of citizens.
Of course. Rachel, do we have some questions for the public?
Well, I have a couple. I think, Carlotta, what you were saying really chimes with what we've heard from other destinations as well, and particularly this discussion around kind of cohabitation between visitors and tourists. And I think we've seen in recent years, it's got to be a sort of two-way link, in that if some places, if it's a nice place to live, it's a nice place to visit, but also the other way round. It's got to be the two together. And I think that has been taken on board more and more. And I suppose one thing, I guess this is probably to both of you, because it's a question that comes up a lot regarding short-term rental, in terms of where that sits in the sustainability proposition. Because on the one hand, it increases capacity beyond the control of a destination, and they can't, it's very difficult for them to limit visitors if these new accommodations keep popping up. And of course, it can cause problems with local residents. But then on the other hand, they can play a role in dispersing the visitors. You were speaking about, Carlotta, about moving the visitors outside of the centre. If their accommodation is a bit further out, that helps. And so it's very much a difficult one to rate where they sit as a goodie or a baddie, really. And I just wondered what both of you thought about that. Maybe Carlotta, you're unmuted. Do you want to go first?
Yes, we are in this strange situation where you are a UNESCO heritage, so everybody wants to visit you. But as you are a UNESCO heritage, you have to maintain a certain balance between citizens and residents. So it's a sort of oxymoron to be a UNESCO heritage. I think that, I know I don't want to be rude, but yes, I think that we need to have a limitation of apartments in this very city center, or in this case, in the UNESCO heritage. And I totally agree that they can support and be a solution for these personal strategies if you allow to have apartments outside the city center. In Florence, when our mayor started to do this kind of regulation, as you can imagine, a lot of people, a lot of owners of apartments started to say, where is my freedom to do what I want with my apartment? I live in the city center, and on the other side, I have to say, where is my freedom as an owner of the apartment to not pay double taxes and to not have a lot of problem, because in my building, I am the only resident, for example. So when you talk about freedom of, you always have to think from all the different points of view. But yes, I'm totally convinced that we need a limitation of the number of apartments in the city center. If we think that the city center has to be populated by residents as well, and we need services, we need shops and schools and parking and everything. I don't like Disneyland as a word, as I don't like over-tourism. I totally agree with Mirko that I wish we were at Disneyland, because in Disneyland they know how to regulate the flows. But it's true that if we want to preserve a little bit our destination and our city center, we need people living there. We need local people living there.
Absolutely. Yes, Mirko, we're just coming up to our hour. So yeah, if you want to sort of make comment on that and wrap up, and then we will end the webinar after this topic.
Yeah, sure. Very quick wrap up. I think Carlotta demonstrated that the real sustainability of a destination is reaching the tipping point. So it's reaching a virtuous equilibrium between the quality of experience of a tourist with the quality of life of the residents. And this is pretty hard because it involves everybody, not only the DMO, but have to be coordinated effort of all the stakeholders of the destination as well. And also tourists have to be aware and respect the destination. I love the new claim of Carlotta's campaign. So this explains very well our positioning in destination and what we try to measure, even to give a more objective KPI to destination manager and also politicians, just to understand a little better and take decision on data and not on their gut. Usually it's pretty common. Just to wrap up, because the slides, I was connected through my cell phone and I have full control of the slide. I would like to share on the handing the way. Just give me a couple of seconds. So here there is my email. Just for everybody's connected, take a screenshot of this slide. You find my email at the bottom left of the slide. You can connect with me. Just send me an email or a message, whatever network, social network is fine, just to receive the slide. So you can go through all the little numbers that I thought is not what's very clear in the first part of the conversation. And I think, Rachel, if there are no questions, we can finish here. What do you think?
Absolutely. So just to remind everyone, we will send a link to this recording, and we'll send the best version of the presentation we can, Mirko. I know you're famous for your interaction.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So we'll send the best one that fits. And yes, and just with that, Carlotta, thank you so much for sharing all your insights. Really interesting to hear. And Mirko, what a pleasure to have another webinar and to actually have you've made it amazing. So we can speak for the connectivity of Florence Airport, can't we? So, so yes, with that, thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you again in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Carlotta.
Thank you.